Huh. Hello. Usually I do all of this setup um in private, I guess you would say. Off Zoom, off camera, off Instagram, off Facebook, off everything. The camera on my PC, my laptop, even though it was so expensive, is such shit. So I bought this webcam. This is a part of the thing, I promise you, because I bought this specifically for Zoom so that I look better in Zoom. So when I catch my reflection, I don't get stressed out or anxious. Because one of the things about social anxiety is that, let's see if it switches over, is that you end up spending most of your time paying more attention to how you think other people perceive you than about actually what's going on in the room and what it means to be in that room. So instead, you're in your head, and my therapist calls it mind reading, and you're mind reading what other people are seeing based off of how you're perceiving yourself. Being on Zoom amplifies that tenfold because I'm doing it right now. See, I'm not even looking into the thing. I'm looking right there at my face while I'm talking, thinking about in the background how you're going to react when you see my face because I'm seeing my face. And it creates this low level anxiety that can make it really hard to concentrate. So I leaned into it and was like, I'm going to get I'm going to focus right up there. I'm going to get a fancy webcam. I'm going to get a ring light that I have up here that I'm going to turn on. And this is the setup that I did before class this entire quarter. So I'm just going to recreate that. Let's see here. For some reason on the recording, let's see, that's too bright. So funny. So I can change the tone. I don't like the cool one. I usually like that one. And then I put it down all the way. The medication that I'm on makes me so sensitive to light. I like exist in the dark. It has been such a weird experience. And I try to keep it from being a problem with the rest of my family, but it's like very jarring for me. So let's see. I'm on the camera, but I think I'm going to have to pause this and put these together and try and figure out how to make it on my Nexigo camera. So there we go. All right, video quality up. But when I turn the video quality up, then I can see all of this crazy business with my hair, which I just cut my bangs myself. So that's turning into like a whole thing. But we're going to try and ignore that and not let it mess with my head. And this is my everyday little nitpicking. Maybe I could just put it up like this. I'm gonna go mess around with this. I wonder if when my hair dries fully, it will look less like a triangle. Did I mention I cut my bangs? My own bangs for the 4th time? Always a crapshoot. I think I did mention that. All right, we'll give it another 5 minutes and see if it ends up or down. This was my dress for last year's Christmas party. I don't know if you can really see it because it's super black, but it's like really gauzy. It's big and it's poofy. And I'm not a vain person. This is not vanity, but my closet is like a walk-in room of armor that I use to protect myself from my own anxiety and my own fear of misrepresentation. And I haven't had that. I'm gonna go put this down. It was something that was really hard on me at the beginning of this because the sweatpant life doesn't do anything for my soul. And I had to really wrestle with the idea that there was the possibility people weren't going to be able to see how I was representing myself. So it was a whole existential moment of, well, why am I doing it? Because it's not vanity. And I feel like I keep saying that because it's not about making people feel a certain way about themselves. It's about creating a positive reinforcement for myself. And we say these things like feed your body before you feed your soul, or put on mascara for you, not for him, or like, what's one from this class? Like what you used to say, like we used to 2 days ago. We've not yet arrived. This is not about arrival. But what does that really mean? And that is where words have their power. Because we can use words like justice. We can use words like solidarity or leadership, human, characteristic, needs, participation, theory, academic, paper, research, all of these things. Did I already say justice? If I didn't, justice. If I did, justice twice. And the work comes in what's after using the word. And it's not even just the action, it's the definition. You can't use the word and then do an action and assume that the definition is universal, assume that the definition is there. Did you see that? I'm still looking at myself. I'm still looking at myself. Like, and not in a good way. That is vanity. What does that mean? Yesterday morning, I had an 1.5-hour healing session with, I guess, a colleague of mine, an artist that I've worked with in the past. Their name is Liz and Putu, and they are truly, truly beautiful in the ways of healing the mind, healing the body. And they told me that my alignment is so top heavy that my roots are searching in thin air, that I'm not even on the ground anymore because everything, all of my chakras top loaded. And the problem is foundation, grounding, clarity. They said to me that there's so much wisdom that has been accumulated in my body and it has nowhere to go, no direction, no clarity. Clarity and wisdom are two things that I don't think function one without the other. Because what is wisdom without clarity of direction? And what is clarity of mind if you don't have the wisdom of application? Or the literal knowledge of what to do with it. We talked a lot about fear and anxiety and strength and resolve. More words that in conversation have meaning, but out of context, they lose something. Cinnamon was brought up, and cinnamon, they told me, cinnamon comes from the bark of a tree, and its strength permeates everything that it touches. When you boil water and you put just one stick of cinnamon in it, it seeps into every bit, every molecule of that water. If there's lemon in there, it's in the lemon. If there's honey in there, it's in the honey. Tea, whatever it is. Milk, cinnamon and milk. I don't know if you've ever had it. It's not terrible. It's like a horchata, right? Same difference. I love horchata lattes so much. Sometimes I feel like I deny having grown up in Arizona because it doesn't have that cool factor, I guess. I don't know. But cacti are cool. Prickly pears are cool. Javelina are fucking cool. Saguaros are cool as shit. Monsoons are cool. I mean, it has taken me 30 years now, I just turned 30, to see Tucson, Arizona as cool. But I digress. Back to cinnamon. Cinnamon helps our bodies process energy. It energizes us. It comes from a tree. It's this bark spice. It's as sweet as it is spicy. And it's a vehicle that assists us in being energized. So, where's my spirit cinnamon? You know? Where can that come from? Because I can take dandelion root, I can do herbal supplements, I can sit here and I can namaste my way into any sort of physical state possible. But if I don't actually truly believe in my own vehicle of energization, all of it is just band-aids on top of roots dangling above the ground. Because I'm so here top heavy, which makes sense. It makes sense. At what point do we stop looking for validation and validate ourselves? When do I get to the point where I wear this with no one seeing it? Not because I'm afraid of being vain, which I should look that word up. I have a dictionary somewhere. Like, is it always bad? Like, yesterday, Jory, she's 10, she said, she looks down at her pasta and goes, is there more of this? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. There's no more. There's more of what I have, which is pretty much the same thing if you want it. She ignores me. She's 10. It's great. And then looks at her dad and goes, have I eaten enough to have dessert? And there's like 5 or 6 noodles on there. And Chad looks at her and says, you just asked if there was more. When we said there wasn't more, you went, aw. And then you asked if you could be done. So effectively, and this is a 10-year-old, you asked us if you could have more and also if you could stop eating without skipping a beat. And it occurred to me that that's not immaturity. That's life. That's human. You know, and I felt bad because she started to feel a little defensive. Like we were berating her, like, why would you ask for this and then ask for this? Why? And I said to her, I was like, no, it's not that. It's trying to understand. But by questioning her in that way, we're creating a defensiveness against confusion. As if being confused was this terrible thing. I need the answer now. I need to know what you want right now. What if she wants dessert and to not eat the rest of those noodles and to know that there is more pasta in the kitchen just in case she wants it? We have to make room for that. I am supposed to do grounding movements. That's what Liz told me. Grounding movements. Whoosh. I haven't actually received the instruction yet. So there was a small little diagram and it was like a stick figure going like this. And so I'm just making up that maybe that's what it looks like. I'm not going to redo this, but holy shit, these lights are terrible. Again, not looking at you, looking at me. Oh shit. I'm opening up all of them and I didn't mean to. This thing's really confusing. Is it 1? Nope. God damn. I'm gonna miss this condo when I move out in about a year, moving in with Chad. Sometimes things change. Okay. Grounding movements. I'm gonna see if I can fix the lighting just a little bit for this. I'm not sure if it'll work. Sometimes when I do the Zoom calls, if I backlight it a little, it works better. But this is important. Because this is my favorite dress ever. It says 100% authentic DU, which is Discount Universe, and it is vintage, hand beaded from Australia. I don't know if you know Discount Universe, but you should look up their stuff. It's amazing. And I love it, and I used to wear it out to like gallery shows and shit. And people would be like, oh my God, is that Discount Universe? Yes, it is. And like, is it vanity? What does vanity mean? Go get that dictionary. The lights again, I'm telling you. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't remember what it feels like to exist in normal, like, actual bright lighting in my home. Let's see here. I need like books. For someone who's as obsessed with technology as I am, I can't read off an iPad. I can't take like notes or whatever on the PDFs. I like handwriting. I like handwritten. I don't journal on my computer. I do video journals like this. I don't know if that maybe gives some insight into why I'm doing this like this. If you're a writer and you're doing something that's very personal to you and you're not a creative writer or a personal narrative writer or something like that, which I'm not, it is not very much fun to write about yourself. Of course, I can't speak for everyone, but that's how it's been for me. It's kind of like, if I'm going to do something with my hands that's creative, that's like about me, I'm going to paint. Let's see here. Okay, come on. Vanity. Vanish. Vanity. Whoa. Crazy. Futility. Or something that is futile. Wow. Number 2 is undue pride in oneself. Undue pride in oneself. Isn't that so interesting? Because I'm saying here, I'm like, it's not vanity. It's not vanity. So what if it is due pride in oneself? Where's the word for deserved pride in oneself? Because pride has a bad rep too. Then number 3 is makeup case or table. So let's look up futility or something that is futile. Let's see if I remember. A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. G, futility. Futile. Useless. Or vain. Oh, yeah. Okay, so like, I reached out in vain. Interesting. I love words. I love words so much. They mean things. Liz and I had a really, eyes here, long conversation about value. What does it mean for things to have value? But what does it mean for our food to have value? What does it mean for our objects to have value? And the clothes that I have value. I will wait a month to find something handmade or used that's what I'm looking for rather than fast fashion it. Different people feel that way about different things. For me, it's a lot. I'm very particular. I'm picky. I like cultivate. I curate. My nesting is, I like to think intentional and conscious. But when we talk about value, it's more than just, am I getting a farmer's market chicken? I don't eat meat unless I buy it on Sundays from the farmer's market. So how does that change how I value the meat that I eat, right? But at the same time, the things that we value in our society right now are backwards. And we talked about this too. What does it mean when you're in a food desert? Okay. You don't have access to sustenance, to healthy food, to things for your body that you put in your body. We are what we eat, right? And that's another throwaway statement that we need to think about. We are what we eat. And I don't have access to healthy food. On Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which my family loves to throw in my face. Assholes. On Maslow's hierarchy of needs, intellectual achievement is at the top. It was here. Shelter, food, safety is here. And you can't be here until you get this. What does that mean when we block access to this? We've accepted a value-based system that does not allow people to create their own hierarchy of needs based off of the reality of their situation. And I am not saying eat a book. What I am saying is that your education, like your intellect, your wisdom, your clarity, has value independent of your house status, of how many roommates you have, of whether you're on a couch or on a bed, on your access to good food. But then that cuts people who did not create these barriers completely out of the educational equation, or even just out of their own needs. We now decide for them. So what's really oppressive? Freedom at this point. I mean, especially now, feels like the most oppressive. Freedom to die, right? Freedom to kill. Freedom to ignore. Freedom to and freedom from. I'm going to end this in fake fur and real leather to say that they're setting up Christmas trees in the parking lot on the other side of the street from my window. And that words matter. And not all habits are bad. And I'm going to find that word that means deserved pride in yourself. And even if I don't believe it, because finding the words does not mean that those words are in your soul. That's for sure. I at least will know it, and then I can name it when I do see it.